right, the road to the National is on, and we drove down to, my dad and I drove down to San Francisco for our flight. We flew in on United Airlines. Thankfully, some of the issues with the airlines have mostly been resolved. So we got to the airport.
What's going on, everybody? So with my dad, hey Dad, we're in San Francisco, just got to the airport. It's about 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday night. We've got a red eye, train's arriving. We've got a red eye into Cleveland and about to make the flight on in for the show.
So in we pulled to the IX Center in Cleveland, and the parking lot had some congestion, I can tell you that, but we made our way in. And here is a look at one of the lounges to hang out. We were hanging out in here before we went on into the show. Now, I'm going to try to provide booth number information as we look at some T206s here, as well as dealer information in case anybody's attending the show or want to reach out to one of the dealers. And this dealer had some really, really nice stuff. You can see some nice T205s in here. There's a nice John McGraw. There's a Frank Chance card up there. Nice Mordecai Brown up at the top, T206. Some Hank Aaron rookies. And then down at the bottom here, there was a really, really nice Ty Cobb that just is beautiful. You can see it right there. And it got fairly crowded. It was comfortable, but the aisles are pretty wide, and it's fairly easy to move around. But there was some congestion. There's the PSA booth. And so I went on over and started looking at some cards in William Chappell's booth. He has a really nice setup. He's one of the top dealers that is here. And he had some stacks of T206s. And I was looking through those. There's a nice John McGraw with the cap on. I looked through a few different stacks of his, but I'm not going to show everything. There's a nice Willie Keeler and a Miller Huggins, two more Hall of Famers, Roger Bresnahan. And, you know, when you're looking at cards like this, there's another Miller Huggins. When you're looking at cards like this, it's amazing to me that you look in a case and you see a stack. Well, in Chappell's stacks, there are stacks of Hall of Fame cards. Those are showcase cards for some people, but he's got so much great stuff. It becomes part of a stack. So you have to ask to look at the stacks because you never know if there's something in there high end that you're looking for. I ended up there's a couple of cards here. I'll show you some more of his cases in a second that stuck out to me. Didn't buy anything right off the bat. Again, this is kind of my first loop through the show. And so I decided, let's look at some, this last stack of T206s before we look at we got an Ed Walsh there. Before we look at the showcases, that's a nice card. You got a Tris Speaker rookie card in a stack in his case. It's just crazy. A Nap Lajoie in a stack. I mean, Eddie Collins, just Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. There's another Hall of Famer, and just stacks of Hall of Fame cards. The volume of incredible old cards is pretty amazing at this show. Again, you got another Tris Speaker. You got a Jack Chesbro, another Hall of Famer. It's pretty crazy stuff. But again, this is at Chappell's Chappell Cards. William Chappell is the dealer. Most people are familiar with him if you go in any of the major card shows in the Midwest. Now, if you look here, this is more of his case, and it's just absolutely loaded. That Mel Ott 33 Gaudy up there is a card that's on my look list. You got a nice Joe DiMaggio, 39 play ball DiMaggio. And there's how about the Mickey Mantle Red Heart high grade. How about a Larry Doby 49 Bowman? Just amazing stuff. Again, you see all the stacks and you go, yeah, what's underneath it? Well, massive cards are underneath it. And then this case had some of his most featured stuff. You can see a lot of his pre-war inventory here. Nice Cy Young there. Chrissy Mathewson portrait. A Hugh Duffy up in the top right-hand corner. He's got Joe Jacksons in these cases. Got some Willie Mays rookie cards next to a Mickey Mantle rookie card. Speaking of the Joe Jacksons, there's one right there. A pop one, no pop higher, $100,000 card in the showcase. That's the thing about a show like this, and that's really there's a Ted Williams rookie card in a 5, a Ted Williams Wilson Franks in a 4.5. Just some DeLongs, just wild. One of the cool things too is at a show like this, a lot of the auction houses show off some of the upcoming items, and this particular area was Love of the Game auctions. And it's like a museum looking at some of these types of things, these photos. And you can hear I'm talking to Sammy Thunder there. How about Eddie Matthews rookie card in a 7 next to a really nice 52 Jackie Robinson and a Thurman Munson autographed ball on the sweet spot. This Love of the Game booth had incredible cards for their upcoming auction. I'll show you a little bit more here. If you look here, you can see some Cap Anson card. You can see, just a Mickey Mantle rookie autographed. Just, big deal, right? How about these home run derby cards? Got a Hank Aaron and a Mantle. Those home run derby cards have really gone up in price recently, if you follow those at all. My buddy Mike Petty was going after one the other day, and the prices just got crazy. How about a high-grade Warren Spahn rookie? And then they had a Ramley set. Now, these are some of the mid-tier cards. I'll show you some of the top-end ones here in just a second as well. And here, speaking of it, incredible. I'll show you some more here in a second. These were the featured ones. Look at those cards. Eddie Plank, Walter Johnson rookie. That's the premier rookie, or Walter Johnson card. How about a Babe Ruth original photo? Gorgeous picture there. You got Johnny Evers and Miller Huggins, a couple more Hall of Famers. Just amazing. So I kept on moving and went over to Kit Young's booth. He has been around for a while, and he is doing a T206 set break, where it's actually a set break. They pretty much had all of the cards from the set. So I was looking through a few of them. Here is a really nice Cy Young T206. It's in a 4. That's going to be out of my zip code, but it's a beautiful card. I wish I could have gotten that one. And nice Ty Cobb, well centered of the red back, and it's an old mill back. The red portrait Cobb is a card that I've been kind of eyeing a little bit at the show. And then he's got, there's a couple more we'll look at here. That Jack Chesbro. There's a really, really nice looking card of that too. That's a card I'd like to pick up, a Yankee. And how about the Ty Cobb Bat on Shoulder card, which is probably my second favorite Cobb of the T206. He has 4 cards in the T206 set. And he's got bat on shoulder, bat off shoulder, and then a red and a green portrait. How about a 3-finger brown portrait? I love this card. This is a pretty high grade. You can see those labels are pretty old, so they were graded a while ago, but they're still really nice cards.
What was he?
And
no, I know,
you can hear him talking to 609. It's booth 609 if you're going to be coming to the show and want to see Kit Young stuff. And this is a little bit more. He's got some of those, more goodness. And I went over to this booth 626. You can see the card up there. It's Monster Cards. I've bought from them on eBay before.
Oh, beautiful.
You can see several Cobbs in there, Clark Griffith.
First lap through,
a lot of
some of the bigger ones, and then my second
pre-war stuff in here.
Planning,
now you'll see that the theme of today, and then look at this. So I went over to see my buddy Ash just to say hey, and he goes, "Hey, look, here's a stack of cards I just picked up." Well, in that stack was a beautiful Ernie Banks, and I'm like, I wasn't thinking I was going to buy an Ernie Banks rookie card. And this one's in a 5.
No.
It's really, really well centered. It's really, really sharp. It's really, really good color. I'm like, this seems like a really undergraded Banks. I keep looking at it, and I'm like, all right, Ash, what would you sell this to me for? He says, I'd do $1,600 for you, Greg.
I'd love to do the deal.
Which is a crazy good deal. Card usually sells for $1,800 to $1,900. And, we're buds, so he obviously goes straight to his best price. And I'm like, man, I've been wanting this card. And as I'm sitting there, my dad's next to me. Darren, Return to Collecting's next to me. Scott, Reindeer Studios. And then Theo walks up. And Mookie walks up. And all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by a bunch of my pals. And I'm like, I feel like there's a sign here that this might be the one. I mean, it's been 30 years I've been thinking about this card, and
I wasn't expecting
all the stars are suddenly aligning, and I'm like, I think this is it. It's everybody's here. It's the right card. It's the right dealer. It's the right grade. Well, so guess what?
This is everything is telling me I got to do it. You got a deal. Wow. There you go. Thanks, bud.
Did you do it?
It's done.
He did.
It's a done deal. There's nobody I'd rather buy it from than this guy, too.
That's awesome.
We gotta take care of Greg. We gotta take care of him, right?
He's so indecisive in the card.
Well, that's why you just gotta make it too easy.
He said
If you make it too
16
easy,
of these things?
16, and not a penny more.
What is this? What is this contract?
So I rip off $1,600 bills.
It hasn't sold in forever, and it's such a sharp copy.
Ash bought this about an hour earlier.
He just said, hey, look, this price.
Didn't have it long, but I will.
Hey, take this out. Let me see.
All right, it's been about 30 years. It just happened. And look, the whole crew. It just happened. From my guy.
From my guy. Awesome. So here it is, super sharp card. The centering side to side and top to bottom is just awesome. The color on the card is so deep and rich, and it's the one. It's the right card. So Theo said, I got to buy you a beer to celebrate. So I said, let's do it. So that just happened. So this booth had some amazing stuff. I mean, you got the Satchel Paige Leaf up there. You got, oh man, DiMaggio 39 again, some more T206s. Again, the pre-war was kind of the area I was looking in today, but in my next video, I'll feature a lot more other stuff as well. Got a couple Yogi rookies, a couple Stan Musial rookies, a Spawn rookie. And look at this case. Anybody want a 54 Jackie Robinson? I know where you can find one. Got some beautiful 56 Willie Mays, 55 and 56 Jackies, 52 Jackies, 53 Jackies. How about some 49 Leaf Jackies? Unreal. And you got some mantles. Look at all these Red Heart mantles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Red Heart mantles. Side by side. Look at all the mantle Bowmans. 51s next to 52s. All the 56 mantles. Unbelievable.
Right now, and they're like, that's against the law.
Unbelievable. So, as I was moving through, I really like looking at non-sport stuff. And boom, right there, I said, I think I just spotted some N19 Pirates of the Spanish Main cards in a stack. So I decided to take a look. So these are at booth 521. All of this non-sport stuff. You can see a Three Stooges there card on the left.
Yeah, those ones.
Some of this non-sport stuff is really, really growing on me. And so I started going through these. I had several of them, not in this kind of grade. These are really, really high grade for these cards. Remember, these are from the 1880s. I don't have that one. But I had, I think, the others. And they're just beautiful examples of them. And I've only seen a handful of these pirate cards. I'd love to pick one up to add to the collection. But we'll see. You can see the back there is super clean back. Here's another auction house doing a preview. It's kind of fun to see some of this high-end stuff. Here's some vintage football cards. Some Sammy Baws and Bobby Lanes. Frank Giffords. There's their information. It is truly like a museum seeing some of that stuff. Look at this case. Got an awesome Pele card there. You got a Buffalo Bill Cody card in a 4.5. I love that set. There's a couple of Cy Youngs and a couple of Ty Cobbs. Got a 49 Bowman Jackie. Couple 34 Gowdy Lou Gehrigs. And how about some Babe Ruths? It's just what a normal showcase looks like here. It really is overwhelming, especially when you think that there's thousands of tables. And this is just one.
All right, so I am stuck in a traffic jam. The show has just ended, and so many people reached out to me and said, Greg, you've got to buy the banks. But I didn't want to buy just any banks. I wanted to buy the right one. And I got to tell you, the fact that I got the right one from a dealer who I have so much admiration for and respect for and call a friend in Ash, and my dad was there, so many of my good buddies were there. It was unbelievable. That was an amazing day one. What do the next 2 days have in store? I have no idea, but unreal day.